those who may not know, can you kind of briefly explain what a barrier island is and just a general,
Sure.
what purpose?
Basically, a barrier island is an island of sand. It's right on the coast, and usually behind it you'll have a bay or a lagoon, and they're named different names all the way down the coast.
You did like a backpacking trip.
Yes.
When was that?
February of 2023.
Backpacking trip from here all the way to the Virginia line at the beginning of the semester.
I did some documentaries, a little on-air stuff.
I'm there year-round for the beach. I hunt there and hike there.
Summertime, drive on the beach, hang out with friends and family on the drive on beach, and have beach day. Hang out, relax, go in the water. I'll go there in the fall and winter to hunt, since they do have special regulations and times you can go hunt sick deer, whitetail, and waterfowl.
I've encountered ponies, squirrels, blue heron.
There's ponies there year-round.
Nature at its finest with no tourist interruptions or anything obnoxious. It's just nature.
They're fantastic places, full of sand, and we treat them terribly.
Assateague Island, a gem of the Eastern Shore, is located 26 miles from Salisbury University. Assateague spans 37 miles through Maryland and Virginia and is managed by both state and federal resources, according to the National Park Service website. Assateague harbors year-round tourism, whether it's spending time on the beach, hunting, or anything in between. However, this island is no stranger to environmental risks. Barrier islands are very fragile. Assateague is home to many forms of life, and like other habitats around the world, it's in jeopardy. Erosion, sea level change, and other natural factors, and those not so, play into the ever-changing blueprint of the island.
Assateague was knighted with the national park status on September 21st, 1965 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. This bill will ensure protection of the land and its surrounding waters. The National Park Service fought hard for years to keep Assateague underdeveloped, but money talks and the tourism began. Assateague acts as coastal Maryland's last line of defense against the unprecedented forces of the Atlantic Ocean. This island is also bordered by the Sinapunxet Bay.
The sand dunes spanning down the coast of Virginia and up the coast of Maryland help act as the last layer of defense against wind, waves, and other natural events.
Assateague is, well, obviously the Maryland side of the barrier island. It's a lot more visitor friendly, has a lot more beach goers, I would say, and obviously it has OSV, which is where you could drive on the beach. The Virginia side is more of the preservation side of the refuge, I believe it is.
It tends to be a place that gets the brunt of all the storms, and the winds are much higher there. And you probably have noticed we have a good nor'easter here. It gets blustery here at the uni, and you get 25, 40-mile-an-hour winds. You go out to the beach, everything's changed, everything's blown away because the winds there were double. But yeah, does it affect our weather much? No, not really. The weather affects it more.
Believe it or not, like the plants and other kinds of things like the fences that the park has put in to the ground help stabilize the dunes and keep them from blowing away or getting washed away by the ocean.
A common consequence of the harsh weather conditions is erosion. According to National Geographic, erosion is a geological process in which earthen materials are worn away and transported by natural forces such as wind or water. It can also be fabricated by human influence. When natural materials are worn away, such as the sand, it affects the lay of the land and the wildlife that call it home. Erosion has not only shifted the land and the dunes, but also changed the size of the beaches.
I would say there's definitely a big difference. I've been going there since I've been probably elementary school age, and the beach used to be pretty big, and there are a few spots that are getting much, much smaller, and you can tell year by year it's not getting any bigger.
High tide will, the beaches basically go back to the dunes. So if you want to move up on the beach, you kind of have to be up on the dunes. I didn't walk on the dunes.
I talked to the head of the park there 10 years ago, and I said, have you got any data on how fast sea level is rising here? And she said, yes, we just got it. And we were shocked. It's double the global rate. Sea level rise is going to really be bad for Assateague, and it's happening at least double the rate in other places. The only place that's worse is the coast of Louisiana.
Assateague and Ocean City used to be one island. In 1933, a devastating hurricane swept through the coast, causing the divorce of the two islands we know today. The hurricane was a blessing in disguise. While Ocean City was being restored, Assateague was left to the hands of Mother Nature. These circumstances allowed Assateague to gain national park and national seashore status.
They're both barrier islands, but one's preserved by the federal government, some by the state. And they do a very good job in preservation. Up until the 30s, Assateague was going to look like Ocean City. They sublotted everything, they had a road, and since then they've allowed Assateague to just basically reclaim back to natural barrier island.
They used to be side by side. Why is that happening? A couple of things. One is they put that jetty in there. What that jetty does is it grabs the sand coming down and puts it on the beach in Ocean City. And it keeps it from going to Assateague. So Assateague is sand deprived and backing up. Ocean City is getting the extra sand from that. They don't have to add sand there as often on the beach, although most of our beaches, they have to add sand now all the time. So that's what's going on. And that's kind of called the type location. It's the best example in the entire world of why you don't put jetties on a beach. Go to Ocean City, take a picture, that's your example.
According to the National Park Service, Assateague receives 6 million less tourists each year in comparison to Ocean City. However, there's still a lot of behind-the-scenes work to preserve the beauty of this national park.
The forest rangers and all of the park staff are very good about enforcing cleaning up litter. They also clean up litter from what I've seen. But I have noticed in the summertime with more tourists, there is definitely a lot more trash on the beach, in the parking lots, but they do a pretty good job of cleaning it up.
It's a very clean beach, I'd say, in comparison to Ocean City. It's super clean, they keep it natural, they let you do a lot of things that you want, but there's also a lot of regulations to keep the beach in its natural state.
Yeah, no, they're very well maintained. The rangers, at least from what I saw, I passed the rangers probably 4 or 5 times. They patrol the beaches, campgrounds, make sure everything's cleaned, that animals can't get into any of food. They have, I guess you'd say, pony boxes, which is like a bear box for food. So, because the ponies, if they eat anything besides the natural foliage, they will die. So don't feed the ponies.
And there's a lot of programs between the park rangers, the federal agents that are out there that try and keep it clean and keep people in a row. They're always riding around looking to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to. And there's also a couple programs like Maryland Coastal Bays that does a lot of restoration and stuff out there as well.
I think they definitely have an issue with staffing. It's definitely hard to keep and recruit people to work on the island since it is so far away from common towns, busier towns. They also have to deal with the tourists and people that are not familiar with the regulations on Assateague. That keeps them busy, definitely. And they're always fighting nature, constantly making sure that the beaches are safe to be on for the on-sand vehicles. There is a lot of washout with all of the hurricanes and storms we get, and they have to keep the beach to a certain level of safety in order for people to continue using it.
They do a trash cleanup day every year where people will drive on the beach, walk down the beach, and everybody just comes together and picks up trash to try and keep the beach clean.
Some factors fall out of Mother Nature's hands. We've already established that money talks. And the protection of Assateague comes at a cost that some aren't willing to pay. Politics played a role in the park's original protection, and it also plays a role and preventing said protection.
Their budget's been cut terribly. It really started around 2000 during the presidential election between Bush and Al Gore. It started then, it became political. It wasn't as political an issue before that presidential election. The Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Act, you know what president signed those in 1972? Richard Nixon. We have changed the planet, and our grandkids will look back on us and say, what did you do? Because, you know, and they all did it because they were afraid of taxes. The world is changing rapidly. We're living in a global society, and we're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. But yeah, I mean, if you have, that's why I'm glad you guys are getting your degree. I just tell people, get a college degree.
While political battles continue and natural forces reshape this landscape, the truth remains. Assateague's future ultimately rests in our hands. The most effective preservation tool we have isn't a bill or protective wall, it's education, and it can start right here on campus. Salisbury University has been recognized as a National Arboretum since 1988 and also offers a variety of environmental classes, such as the Introduction to Sustainability, Environmental Studies, and there have been a range of research projects done all along the Eastern Shore. We also have relating majors such as geography, geology, and biology.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what courses would be offered. I guess that could be more of environmental planning or environmental studies. Yeah, I can see an importance in that.
That tells me they have the ability to learn new things that are hard. That's why you get that college degree. Get it, because it's going to put you in a different class of people. People say the U.S. is a classless society. No, it's not. It's the people who have college degrees and the people who don't.
The biggest lesson to learn? Yeah. Just to preserve land.
Treat it like your mother's home.
I just say that education's the key here.
Make sure people take their trash with them.
If it wasn't for a freak hurricane that hit the Eastern Shore, Assateague would probably look the same as Rehoboth, Ocean City, Dewey, and Bethany.
Keep it clean, take your trash with you, respect the animals and the nature there.
They have dumpsters right at the entrance and exit of the Drive on Beach to kind of influence you to take your trash with you and throw it away there.
And learn critical thinking skills, confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, all of that.
If it wasn't for that and, you know, that destroying all the roads and the lots that and the houses that were on Assateague, we wouldn't have Assateague and we wouldn't have a preserved national seashore in Maryland and Virginia.
And enjoy yourself as much as you can safely.